All of my gaming news is contained right here. My doctor says I shouldn't keep it all in there because it's caused me serious cardiac issues. Like what? A native port for The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask has been created, and other N64 titles will surely follow. No, Nintendo didn't have some sort of Christmas Carol-esque spiritual encounter that gave them a change of heart. We have coder Mr. Wise Guy to thank instead. He created a tool called N64 Recompiled that he used to make Majora's Mask run natively on PC. No emulator required, even on Linux and Steam Deck, with support for gyro aiming. The tool uses Dario's RT64 as the renderer, which adds visual enhancements like high-resolution effects, widescreen, and high frame rate support. The results truly speak for themselves, as seen in Wise Guy's release trailer. But it gets even better. N64 Recompiled can theoretically port any N64 title because it translates the source code into C code, which, according to The Verge, can then be compiled into native apps for any platform. But even better, the apps don't contain any game assets, so Nintendo can basically do jack squat about it, which sounds like an exercise or a personal trainer's name. Obviously, since the apps don't contain the game, you will need access to the game's ROM. But once you do get that access, you can even play Superman 64. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can.
It's an affront to God, but go for it.
Final Fantasy may finally come to Xbox as Square Enix is pushing for multi-platform releases. Apparently their profit was so disappointing last year that the company's share prices had their biggest decline in 13 years, the age of the writers of Kingdom Hearts. Apparently the PlayStation 5 titles Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, and Foam Stars all fell short of Square Enix's expectations. The company has come to the unorthodox conclusion that maybe releasing those games on only one of 4 current-gen platforms may have affected sales. As a result, Square Enix wants to aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy that includes PC, Xbox, even Nintendo platforms. Imagine it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, running natively on the Switch at 10 FPS with 7% of the graphical fidelity. That's enough for me.
Can't wait for the screenshots.
That might not actually be the case though, since Square Enix also wants to shift its philosophy from quantity to quality. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be limited to game releases. The company has announced layoffs across its US and European arms as part of a restructuring effort. The cuts will mostly affect publishing, the company's indie games division, and IT for some reason. I guess they saw the hype after Rockstar got hacked and thought, we need some of that.
Free publicity.
Come get it. Bethesda has released a second disastrous next-gen update for Fallout 4, less than a month after the last one. To catch you up, Bethesda released the first next-gen update on April 25th. In storied Bethesda tradition, it broke all mods. Or at the very least, it broke the Fallout 4 script extender mod, the backbone of the most popular mods. Other than that, the update went swimmingly, in that your companions could now swim through the air. As can be seen in this Reddit post. In addition to adding more bugs to the game, the first update also didn't add widescreen support, despite saying it would. Naturally, when the second update was announced, Fallout 4 fans weren't super optimistic. On the bright side, it did finally allow console players to adjust their graphic settings, though Bethesda highly recommends you don't do that, and in some cases, you straight up can't. For example, you can now choose between frame rate targets of 30, 40, and 60 FPS, but you can only choose 40 if your display supports 120 Hz refresh rate. All in all, it's pretty bad. I never thought I'd say this, but Bethesda, don't fix your games. Let unpaid volunteers do that instead.
They're more qualified.
Instead of leaving your tech unprotected, check out our sponsor Dbrand. They just launched their new Kill Switch case for the ROG Ally, developed with engineering support from ASUS. It's a protective case for the ROG Ally that's loaded with features, like a satisfying grippy texture, a built-in kickstand with micro SD card holders, a travel cover for on-the-go protection, stick grips for enhanced precision and tactility, and a customizable skin to personalize your Ally with. As a matter of fact, Dbrand just launched a new Counter-Strike-inspired case-hardened skin exclusively for the ROG Ally Kill Switch. If you want to grab the most feature-complete ROG Ally case on the market, go to dbrand.com/killswitch. Engage! It's dangerous to go alone. Take these quick bits. You can't use them to defend yourself, but at least you'll be entertained while you're attacked by Lionels. Are they called Lionels?
Yeah, Lionel.
Lionels. The developers of upcoming hero shooter Marvel Rivals have apologized for banning negative reviews. A tweet from streamer Brandon Lard, aka Seagull, revealed that creators were required to sign contracts for access to the game's closed alpha playtest. Those contracts contained a non-disparagement clause that disallowed making any public statements that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. The Marvel Rivals team has since apologized for the miscommunication. They didn't realize that when they handed out a contract banning criticism that people would think they couldn't criticize the game. How could they have known?
There's gotta be a way.
EA would once again like to inform you that video games do not contain nearly enough ads. To be fair, CEO Andrew Wilson did say during an earnings call that he doesn't want to add ads ad nauseum. His company is in early discussions on how to do very thoughtful implementations. They're not just gonna throw a Taco Bell ad on an in-game billboard, they're gonna have a special loot box appear in the store on your birthday, and when you unlock it, you'll get a virtual bouquet with a little handwritten note that says, "Get 2 chalupas for $9.99 this week, baby."
This in the box.
Think outside the loot box. Warner Bros. Has apparently reversed its decision to retire over a dozen Adult Swim games from digital stores. Retire here meaning delist and permanently memory hole. This follows many of the game's original indie developers taking to social media and publicly mourning and protesting the fact that their art was being rendered permanently inaccessible to future audiences for the sake of simplifying Warner Bros. Books. Several of those creators now report that Warner Bros. Has contacted them with an offer to transfer ownership rights and control over the game's store pages rather than delisting them one by one behind the woodshed, which is not nothing.
The downside is they have to spend 2 hours on Time Warner customer service.
The Xbox 360 store is having a sale for multiple games, many of which aren't playable on newer Xbox consoles. That's important because the Xbox 360 store will be shutting down on July 29th of this year. After that date, owners will no longer be able to make any digital purchases on the console. Unfortunately, it seems the sale doesn't cover every non-backwards compatible game. Since Microsoft doesn't want to preserve every title, I guess someone will have to volunteer to buy every single one of those games before the store closes.
Damn it! Every time!
And a new mod, Five Nights at Hearts of Iron 4, has added Five Nights at Freddy's styles jump scares to Hearts of Iron 4, which is of course a grand strategy game set in World War II. The mod only adds a 1% chance of a jump scare on any given in-game day, so you can really get immersed in micromanaging a pincer movement in southern Poland before Freddy Fazbear screams in your face and makes you shit your pants. Just like a real general.
Bring me my brown trousers.
And the Surgeon General recommends you come back on Wednesday for your tri-weekly dose of tech news.